Hey everybody, welcome back to the Top Agent Podcast. I am one half of your hosting team, along with my partner Stacy Regula. Stacy, how are you doing today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing great. We have a very special guest today coming to us from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And of course, before we get into that, make sure you hit like on this video and subscribe on this channel. But without further ado, Tara Knoblauch. Tara, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us.
Awesome. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you.
Let's get right into it. One of the things that we like to get into on the show right off the bat is the backstory of everyone that we're interviewing, because everyone comes from a very unique and diverse background. I don't think I've heard the same kind of story twice. If I were to pick two that were most similar, it'd probably be me and Stacy. But tell us a little bit about you, life before real estate.
Ooh, life before real estate. So my career before real estate, I was a power engineer for 11 years.
Wow.
So when I was, I think 21, I started that, and I worked around Saskatchewan, and then I did some time, I'll call it, in Calgary and at camps north of Fort McMurray. And I loved it. It was fantastic. But I worked a lot of overtime, and I was grinding, and I was chasing the challenging jobs. I jumped around a lot. But it kind of reached a point where I needed to do something different because I wanted to come home to Saskatoon, work at home. So then I got my thinking cap on, and I could see that I was going to be laid off. We didn't have any future projects coming when the kind of oil crash happened. I think that was about 7 years ago. So I, strangely enough, I booked a trip with two girlfriends to Greece last minute for about 10 days and set myself the deadline, like, okay, you're ending your career, you're starting over, you need to make a decision. So I told myself before the plane lands back in Saskatoon, I have to figure out what the heck it is that I'm going to do for my next chapter. And I picked real estate because I had already bought some revenue properties. My dad was a carpenter growing up, so I had some knowledge of building and whatnot. And then once I chose it, I was like, you know what? I actually drink my coffee and check listings on MLS every day and have done that for 5 years as a weird habit. Maybe I've got some value to add. So I ended up picking real estate, and I've been doing that for 7 years.
Wow. So what did that transition look like for you then?
It was completely different. I went from wearing coveralls outside, working with mostly men. It was very rare to have a girl in the trades. It was challenging. It was rewarding. It never got boring for me. I was doing a lot of commissioning and startup. So that means you're starting up equipment for the first time. You never know how it's going to go. So you really have to think. And I loved that. It was super, super challenging. There was no bored in it. And I find I get bored easily. I like to keep things interesting. So stopping that and getting into real estate was a big unknown. I remember putting in my notice to my boss, and I had told them it's time for me to go home, meet somebody awesome, and start a family, hoping that would be what happened. But it was a big jump because I gave up this career that I had worked so hard to create, and I loved it, and I was good at it. And making the decision to just stop all of that, start from scratch. There was no transition. I had built up a savings account. I was living off of that to get started. There was a lot of fear. I'm sure a lot of people said I was crazy, but it's what I wanted, and I made it work.
Wow.
Now, when you jumped into real estate, was EXP the choice, or did you go to another brokerage first?
EXP didn't exist. I had not, or I guess maybe it did, but I wasn't aware of it, or it wasn't open in my area. So I did 2 years at an independent brokerage, and then I did about 2 years, roughly 2 years at a franchise brokerage. Then EXP was available in our location. I'm in Saskatchewan, Canada. I think I was the third person in our province to join. As soon as I heard of it, I was so on board because it just made so much sense for my family. And I've been at EXP a little over 3 years now.
Right. Yes. Yeah. We're in Manitoba. You're in Saskatchewan. We came after you, and I keep forgetting that date was not much before us. But what was that deciding factor? What was your introduction to EXP?
I honestly, I saw the video and I couldn't sleep. I am a person, I love change. I don't want to see the end of my life and see all of these opportunities that I missed because I didn't try it and jump on board when I felt drawn to it. So it was pulling me in. I could just see it just made so much sense financially. And as an example, in my old career, the management guys, let's just talk the stock and the revenue share and the potential earnings on top of just doing your job. A light bulb went off for me. You know, my dad is upper management at an oil gas company. His bonuses are company stock. Well, I never had that option before, you know, and the other brokerages that I worked at, no one was calling me to give me free stock. I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? Why don't I try it and see what happens? So to make sure I wasn't just jumping too quickly, I had my husband watch the video. I had my parents watch the video, like, slow me down if I'm excited for no reason here. And they said, well, because I had chosen at that time, if I made the change, I was also going to let go of my real estate coach and try to embrace all of the training that we had here. And they said, well, if you went and you didn't like it, would your broker take you back? I'm like, yes, they will take my money. That's not a problem. And if you quit with your real estate coach and wanted to get another one, would they take you back? I'm like, yeah, I pay all of those people. So where's the harm in trying? And so I made the switch and absolutely fell in love with the company, got rid of all my old signs, like, nope, not going back. It's just been so different than the other places that I've experienced before.
And before I get this, like, I just have a follow-up question for you.
Yeah.
What do you think is the holdup for people, or the hesitation to get people to just explore this model?
Fear of change. You know, I've heard a lot. That's got to be the biggest one, is fear of change, because when you make any change, you don't really know what it's going to be like, right? You know, if you could just fast forward and try it out and see what it really felt like, I think there'd be a lot less fear. But just humans in life seem to be a little hesitant of change. Along with the change, I hear, you know, I might lose some clients, or maybe it's not the support that I'm expecting, or maybe it's not real. But I think it's all based on fear. And to be able to open your mind and look at it and think, what does this really mean for me and my family? Because for me, it wasn't just a business decision. It has impacted my family in a big positive way. What does it really look like? You know, or loyalty. I've always been loyal to my family, and I still am, you know, and this business model complements that and has changed our lives for the better.
That's great. No, I agree with you 100%. So you've been in it 3 years here. So are you active with revenue share?
I am. I never know if I should say I'm participating in it,
Yeah.
and it grew organically, and I've got wonderful partners.
Nice.
And there's some residual income to go with it, but I wouldn't say that I went hardcore making phone calls to recruit people. I don't, you know, that's not how my experience has been. I've more reached out to people that I like, and I've gone for a coffee with them because I like them, or the conversation comes up naturally. My approach is more, I want to be the person that you call to ask a question when you're ready to ask the question. I don't have a sales pitch with it. I had somebody ask me for a coffee to learn about it and go, okay, give me your sales pitch. Like, I'm not going to do that. It's not about selling you on something. It's about understanding you, what your challenges are, and see if we have the answer or the solution to actually help you. Then it's a good fit. You know, I think it's disrespectful to try and sell an entrepreneur on a model like this.
Agreed. It's very interesting to put it that way. That's why we call it agent attraction, because
Yes.
they should be drawn to something that is, you know, potentially a much better way of doing business.
Yeah, and it needs to make sense for them and benefit them, or why would they change? I think the challenge is, those of us that work for EXP, we know how amazing it is. How do we get the word out there when, you know, people aren't open to it? And it's a back and forth, right? Like, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person and vice versa. When they're ready to hear about it and really internalize it and think what it could do for them, then they're ready to hear the information, and then we can help. Until then, it is what it is.
That's right. So you've been in the business 7 years. Shifting back to the traditional real estate side of it, what are you doing to adapt to a changing market?
Not much. Everything is mindset.
I love that. But
Well, I've always had, I'm a huge believer in coaches, mentorship, regardless of where you are in your life. Even when I was a power engineer, I had a mentor. I've always had a coach or a mentor because if I believe that the person can help me and speed up the timeline of my success, I'm happy to pay. I don't want to struggle through for 10 years when you can teach me how to do it in 1 year. So with that coaching exposure all those years, the common thread was always mindset, that it's so important. And I really believe that, our thoughts are our reality. And if you can control your mindset, which is more than just making yourself think positive, but if you control your mindset, you control your business. So our real estate, myself and my husband have a team. There's 3 of us on our team. If you keep your mindset strong and change the way you think of the market, there's always people to help. You can hear, oh, the market's down, the numbers are down. And my response is usually, is it 0? Where there's 0 sales? And if it's not 0, then there's people that need our help. Then it's just a mindset change. Let's go help them. Everything is mindset, but you can dig into that to a depth that allows you to just attract clients. And it's way more fun than what I was doing in the past.
absolutely.
So, are you big into social media then?
Yeah, I'm. I think
TikTok, Instagram, all of it.
I'm getting a lot more into it now.
Yeah.
I'll say I learned a lot more about the importance of social media, or a better way to do it, since joining EXP. Before that, I was more, I need to have a presence, so I should put something there so that people can find me. So I always had social media, but I don't think I was utilizing it properly. And I was also more focused on promoting my listings rather than promoting myself. I thought, I'm not an ego-based person. I don't want to be all over that. Now I'm understanding that people want to work with people that they know, like, and trust. So, okay, I need to put myself out there a little bit more, and don't see it as a bad thing marketing myself, but being there so that they can get to know me, so that they like and trust me, because I want to help them and I want them to have a good experience. So again, with mindset, I changed the way I think about social media. Now I'm embracing it and trying to make sure that we've got a voice on as many platforms as we can to reach our ideal clients.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm curious what you would say to the people that still kind of balk at the idea that social media makes a difference in today's world.
Well, I mean, I'm at EXP. We embrace technology, right? We use it to make our lives easier. But there's also, it's your business and you can do it your way. It could be done to totally ignore social media. I mean, maybe at least have a Google page so people can find you, so that they know you exist, because with technology, that's like being in the phone book. To have a presence, of course, is powerful, and the exposure to potential clients is amazing. But you can still go knock on doors, boots on the ground, participate in events in your community. There's no one fits all or one way fits all for everybody. For the first couple of years of my business, I barely had social media. I knocked on doors. I did open houses. I call it boots on the ground, probably because of the power engineering thing. But go put the work in. As long as you're talking to people or starting conversations, it's all prospecting. It can all work.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be on social media.
Mm-hmm. That's tremendous advice. And I think that is what some of the agents that started in the peak of the market time are missing, is some of the basics. But we now have some, probably a little more fun questions for you if you're ready for them.
Always ready.
All right. Favorite movie?
Oh, I'm so overwhelmed with children's movies lately. I'm going to go with Encanto. I just love that one.
I just watched that a couple of weeks ago. My wife made me watch it, and I loved it. It was fantastic.
I have not seen it.
Oh, it's so good, especially about, I'm a huge advocate for, information about mental health. That movie has that underlying information. It's beautifully done.
I'll have to check it out.
Yeah.
My movie and book list are growing.
So, yeah.
What is your favorite thing to do when you're not doing real estate?
I am starting to get back into painting a little bit. Yeah, I'll say with, through the first couple of years I was in real estate with the grind, I didn't give myself any time to have any fun. So I'm starting to get back into that now. And I love to paint. And I mean like messy, abstract. Don't ask me to paint a tree because it won't look like a tree. I've just got to make a mess and have fun with it. That's probably still my favorite pastime.
Sorry, you
Excellent.
guys might hear my dog choking on his water. Go ahead, Ryan.
What book has had the most influence on you?
Think and Grow Rich.
Oh,
And I'm still reading it because I feel like that is a long-term book. You have to just keep going with it.
Now, who is your direct upline sponsor, if you don't mind me asking?
That is Chris Molinar.
That is Chris Molinar.
Yes.
Mine is Connie, and she got me that book when I signed on to EXP.
Yeah.
I haven't read it yet, but it's next.
Oh,
somebody,
it's good.
somebody bought me that book too.
Yeah.
It's
AKA Ryan.
if you find it
Haven't read it yet.
overwhelming, there's a shorter version that kind of recaps it to get understanding, and then you can dig into Think and Grow Rich. But it's amazing. And I think everything that improves your personal life or your business life bleeds into the other. So it's all so beautiful.
Mhm.
I just need to find the time to like focus and read a book. It's challenging.
It's tricky in real estate, right?
Yeah, you're just like, I
Yeah.
feel like should be doing something. What is the single best piece of advice you've ever been given?
Oh, there's so many. I still feel like everything always originates with mindset, that mindset is everything. Our mindset is, in real estate, I would say mindset's 90% and skills 10%. You still need the skills, but you can have all the skills in the world. If your mindset is that the market's bad and there's nobody to help, you pick up the phone or you talk to somebody and you kind of sound like this and they can hear that. So then it's not effective, but if you've got this fantastic
Energy.
vibration and energy, yeah, and you're excited and they can hear it, the conversations go better. So I heard about mindset 10 years ago, but through my different mentors and coaches over the years, putting it in different contexts made it click a little more. You can do anything if you've controlled your mindset.
That's great.
I completely agree. It's sometimes I will see people shell up because things aren't going quite their way, when usually that's when the fire should get lit under their ass and get them moving.
Well, some people have thinking of one of the coaches I had, they'd say to start the day at zero. Picture it as if you have no deals, you've got no clients, you got to go get it. That does work for some people. Other people, it puts them in the scarcity mindset and shuts them completely down. Everybody's different, but you have to understand how you work. There's times where you need to go take some massive action, but how does it line up with how you feel will tell you if you're going to go do it or if you're going to procrastinate, or what do you need to dig into so that you wake up and go do it.
Well, Tara, that's everything we got for you today. That was amazing, and we thank you so much for joining us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
And is there
Thank you.
anything you want to talk about before we get off of the call here?
Well, I know I've talked about mindset coaching mentorship a lot, and I've been coaching agents for about 4 years now with production. And if I'm totally honest, it was the grind mentality, because that's all that I knew. And I just didn't really feel good about doing it in that way anymore. So I've created kind of a new coaching program for realtors. It's open to anybody that focuses on mindset and shows you more about 90% mindset. So how to control your thoughts, how to use the law of attraction, how to attract your ideal clients without having to do the grind, because there can be a better way. And then we still touch on the skills, because you have to know what to say in those conversations, how to build your business, how to scale up. So I've got a new program that I'm excited to share with people if anyone's interested.
How will they find that?
They can give me a call, text, or whatever at 306-230-8545, or you can find me on all social media platforms at Tara Knoblauch Realty.
Nice.
All right. I'm going to put that link in the video description, so anyone that's interested can just go in there and click on it. And we wish you all the best, and I hope your coaching program takes off.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And thanks for having me.
No
Thanks,
problem.
Tara.
Thank you.